name, very interesting name, very one of a kind type of name. I'm going to be inviting her to talk with me pretty soon, but I just want to make sure that we have, a few more people join us as well. So if you're used to coming on our chats, you kind of know how it works. We invite really interesting people to join us and have kind of like a chat with them, understand their journeys and their stories and interesting things. But today is going to be the same thing as well. But today, we get to kind of ask her like all the questions we want to ask her as well. And so now, since we have like a couple of people, I'm going to invite her to join me and then we can get started. Okay. But it's nice to see you guys. Thank you guys for joining as well. I've missed you guys so much. Oh, wow. Been looking forward to talking to you guys. So she's going to be joining us in a few moments. All right. So while I'm having her join us, while I'm trying to connect with her, how are you guys doing? What's been going on with you? Feel free to drop in the comments. Oh, wow. Hi. Hi.
How are
Hello.
you?
I am awesome. I am
You
doing.
are awesome.
How are you doing? Please do
I'm
not pay
very
me any
well, thank
attention.
you. How are you
It's,
doing?
today is a great day, a really great day, and even better because now I get to talk to you. Like wonderful, wonderful Motilola Adekunle. Thank you so much for joining. Why you?
Oh, God.
Why? Yeah, I never really. I was like, oh
Wonderful.
my god,
Like,
why?
you give me like,
Is it not true?
there's wonderful, wonderful. And I'm like, wonderful, wonderful.
But
Where's
am
that
I
coming
lying?
from?
Am I lying? Did I lie? It's not true. Are you
I
not
don't know. I can't
wonderful?
say.
Say the
How are
truth
you doing?
now. I'm good. I'm actually really good. So we're just gonna go straight to it, okay? So quickly, my first question for those that that are not like too familiar, because we have people from Paris as well joining and other parts of the world. Who is Motilola? Who is she? I know who you are. I know what you do. So tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay. My name is Motilola Adekunle. For people who don't speak Yoruba, Motilola means I have wealth. I know it's not a common Yoruba name, but it means
Yes,
I have wealth.
so precious.
So, um, I am an actor, a
Mm-hmm.
producer, a scriptwriter, a mom, a wife, um, human rights activist. I don't like the word activist. I have to look for something better. I'd have to say someone that's really passionate about humanity. I think that's a much better way to put it. Um, I've done a couple of movies. I I think that's about it. I think I'm 5 foot 9 inches tall, dark, chubby. I have two girls. I think that's about it. I'm married, yes.
Wow. Okay. Great. 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 That's a lot. I mean, even for one person, I would have stopped at, "Hi, my name is Adiola." Finish. But you've done a lot, and I really appreciate that. You're an actress. You're a screenwriter. You're a producer. You're so many amazing things. You're a mother. You're a wife. I mean, you're just doing so great, and I
Across
love it.
board, everything is just there. Okay.
No, no, I love it. I love it. Just saying hi to everybody that is joining us, guys. We have the amazing Motilola with us today. People are saying hi. People are waving and saying hi to you, Moti Lola, as
Hello,
well.
everybody. Hello, everybody. I'm just trying to answer the questions. Okay, so
No
let's
problem.
keep going.
Okay, all right, no problem. So I'm going to just ask you the next question. So you started acting, right? So you're acting, your screenwriting, your production. How did you start that? When did you know you wanted to do this? What's the journey like? Getting to where you are today.
I've always known I wanted to do this. Like, that's shocking, right? I always knew that this was what I was going to do. Yeah, I discovered that quite early. There's a certain fulfillment that comes with doing what you really want to do.
Yeah.
There's a joy that I get. Um, Anytime I'm on set or I'm writing or I'm getting lazy now though, but anytime I'm on set or I'm writing or I'm just doing anything artistic, it really makes me happy. So I knew this was what I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I started with stage plays. I started doing stage plays while I was in uni. I went to Obafemi Awolowo University, Ife, by the way, one of the best universities in the world. Argue with your camera. I don't
I
care.
was going to argue with you, but I'll let you go. You're the guest.
No, let it go.
Continue.
Sorry, excuse me. 1 minute.
No worries.
So even if you argue, yeah, it still wouldn't make a difference because a fact is a fact. So,
I believe you.
as I was saying, I went to one of the best universities in the world.
Yeah.
So when I was in uni, I started doing stage plays, and I started doing all those things. Kind of cutting my teeth, in the arts, so to speak. I started
Mm-hmm.
with stage plays. I did costuming. I did a little bit of makeup on the side. I did props on the side. I did a lot of small backdoor, until finally I found myself center stage, and I've never looked back since then.
Oh, okay. So I mean, the initial drive is passion. You kind of already knew from the get go.
Passion.
This
There's
is what you
no
wanted
other
to
thing.
do.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're saying something. Yeah. So this is very clear for you. This is what you wanted to do. This is it.
It's
And
always
I
been very
really,
clear for me. Yeah.
yeah, that's really
At
surprising as
first,
well
I wanted
because.
to be a lawyer, but it was boring.
And aren't you happy that you did this? Because I mean, we're all happy you did this as well because we get to see you on the beautiful screen. So it's a win-win.
Thank you.
Right? Thank you so much. By the way, a lot of people are saying hi. I'm so sorry I'm not able to read out everybody's comments. Jumoke Okiari Oja says hello. Princess Okpemiko says mama, she's hailing you. And she calls you Motilola Love as well. Everyone is just excited. Moyo Sori Adini, thank you for joining as always. There's someone known as Moyo Sori Adini. She's always joining us and she's always here and she's saying hi as well. Princess Okpemiko says, love you nonstop, mama. Aww.
Oh, I love you too.
Thank you. So Princess Okpemiko as well is saying that. So she quickly said to ask you, what did you study? So I'm going to just quickly take a question from her. What exactly did you finally get to
Philosophy.
study? Yes, that
Philosophy. I
philosophy.
did philosophy. Yes, philosophy.
Nice. And I'm sure that
Also one
kind
of
of,
the best courses in the world.
what did you say?
Also one of the best courses in the world.
I would hope so because I mean it would help you come up with interesting ideas and question ideas that you present in your movies, right?
True.
I'm gonna be actually talking about some of your movies as well because you talked about really interesting things that I think that we need to kind of go over that people don't talk about a lot in our society as well, things like that. But we'll come to that pretty soon. So the next question I have for you is what motivates and inspires you? I know you did say passion earlier on and liking what you do, but what inspires you? And also what is your mission? So what are you trying to achieve with your work?
First, what motivates and inspires me will be the need to tell our own stories our own way. You know, there was a time that every time you pick up a Yoruba movie, they're talking about what a witch has done and what a wizard cannot do. You know, I'm so glad that that pace is gradually fading off. It
Mm-hmm.
might not be fading off at the pace we want it to, but it's
Yeah.
gradually fading off. If you notice, most Yoruba movies now deviate from a witch killed their father. Some people are still doing it, but
Yeah.
the truth is, it is gradually fading away. It is no longer the order of the day. And I wanted to tell stories that everyday stories that happen to you and I that necessarily do not involve witches or wizards or bizarre concepts. I wanted to tell our stories our way. I wanted people to see Africa, see Yoruba, the race, the culture through my eyes, the way I would handle issues, the way I would see issues, the way I would, my everyday life that transcends and goes beyond whether somebody's laying juju out somebody or somebody isn't. That is not to say that that does not exist. That is not to say that that does not exist. I am not negating that part
Yeah.
of Africa. It is. It exists, it happens, but it's not all that we do. That is not everything about us. We're so much more than what witches and wizards do at 12 midnight. We're so much more than the supernatural force that takes away from us. We're intellectuals, we're young people where people keep going at our goals, or people who cannot be stopped. And these are all, and even we have everyday problems that have nothing to do with witches and wizards. We have problems that people have, that do not necessarily have to resort to spirituality to solve. And I intended to just let everybody see that side of it. And that constantly drives me.
I'm touched, right? I'm actually touched that you mentioned that because honestly, it's like, when the universe is kind of bringing everything together for you to understand something. I was having a conversation yesterday about the story of, something happened, wicked stepmother, no, wicked mother-in-law, juju enter, and we
I
forgot to
mean,
tell our stories. And we forgot to tell the world who we are and what we do and how normal it is for us to be who we are,
exactly.
and it's just interesting that that's what you want to achieve with your stories, because really this is what we
Thank you
need.
for that word. We need to show the world our normal, like
Yes.
our own normal life. We need to let them see our normal that is
Yes.
beyond people flying at midnight.
Yeah, and also, and also to make sure that they stop telling our story for us. You know what I mean?
For
Like,
us, that is really important. I think that is really important. Yes, yes.
yes. So
We need
it's
to tell our
basically
own
taking
stories.
control.
Like they took everything from us. They took everything from us, and they started telling our stories the way that made them look good. You know, in Africa, I did African philosophy for like 3 or 4 semesters, and
Yeah.
the whole thing about African philosophy was that they were trying to prove to us that we had no philosophy because they were the ones who documented our history for us. Unfortunately, some of our fathers passed down the Shango to us. We do know that when you call thunder with Shango, it comes around. It does come around,
I get
and that is
that.
empirical.
I'm
That is
scared of
life.
it.
You understand? No, it's for real though. That
Yeah.
is life. That is what happens, when somebody wrongs you in my hometown and you put
Mm-hmm.
a certain stone in water and you say a few words, best believe thunder is going to strike that person. So, if,
I
for
don't
real
really.
though, if this is practicable, is empirical, it's something that can test it. Do you
Mm.
understand? Now, because they are the ones who documented the stories, they will use science to explain
Mm-hmm.
that thing, stripping us of the mystery that it carries, and then they make it look ordinary.
Mm.
They remove the mystery from us and make us look just ordinary. And that is why we need to start telling our own stories our own way.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. 100, like, yeah. Just to quickly read some of the comments. Taiwo, his grace says, keep representing, or I don't know whether it's a he or she, saying keep representing. Samuel Electric is giving you a thumbs up. Princess Okwamiko says, Mama is a philosopher. I mean, guys, obvious, as in Olasco the one is asking, are you a Muslim, by the way? Are you, if you'd like to answer that, or
I do not necessarily like to dwell on religion. In my family, we
okay,
do everything. When I say everything, everything. I'm a Christian. I married a Muslim. We have kids who have both Christian and Muslim names. So there's really no disparity. I mean, once there's God, I'm good.
c'est fini, c'est bon. Like, as
I
simple as
mean,
that.
why do we have to box ourselves in
Mm.
corners all the time? Why do I have to fit in the box? Why do you want to fit me in the box? Like,
And the box isn't helping anybody. It hasn't helped people for long, anyways. We have wars,
so
we have hunger,
why?
there's wars. I mean, I want to interview.
All right, let's go.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Okwamekwa says, what is your first movie? So what was your first movie? What was the first movie you
My
ever
first movie was
acted in?
Bashorunga. Bashorunga.
Yeah, what year
Bashorunga
was it?
was shot in 2004,
Okay.
2004, 2005. Yes, it was the first ever movie I was in.
Mm-hmm.
Bashorunga. That's the first movie ever.
And what was it about? Like, what was the story about?
It was produced by Adebayo Faleti, the writer,
Okay.
the great playwright, Adebayo Faleti. It was directed by Adebayo Faleti himself. We had legends on that set. We had people like Professor Akinwumi Shola. It was on that set. We had Babalarinde Akinleye. We had legends, people with the big names were on that set, and I was so proud to be a part of it. It was an intellectual set, like it was purely intellectual. We had to argue over every single detail, everything. It was it was crazy.
Yeah, that's how
It
you know
was,
you guys are like super passionate about it, and you just want to make sure it's going to happen.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
It's the
It was
way it is.
amazing. But that was
Okay,
my
so
first
no
movie.
worries. I'll probably go check it out definitely because there's this thing I've been doing recently, not recently actually, quite normally. I watch Yoruba movies like on YouTube a lot. I know that we're gonna come to that soon because I can see your face judging me, but we'll come to that soon.
I am not judging.
We'll come to that soon. But anyways, so a lot of feminine races. One thing I love about you is your voice. So someone loves your voice. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Relationship talk with Abilite says yes, it's obvious from her movies. She studied philosophy as well, so we can see some people actually do know that or can tell that depth of understanding in your work. Princess Okwempo says, I love all about you. You know that.
Thank you.
Oh, Princess Okwempo, man. Yes, you're a true fan. We love you. Except I'm loving you. Abinad also says it's true not to dwell on the spiritual aspect. Of course, there's more to our story than that. I am Jayola is saying hi. Hi, Jayola. He's also always here on our show as well. It's also a regular as well. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Jayola.
Thank you. Tunde Akombi says you are too much. Yes, so it's not easy.
Somebody will kill me. Thank you. Can we move on?
Okay. So I'm just gonna go back to one of our questions, and this one is about one of the movies you've actually done.
Okay.
Known as Me Money. I don't know if I pronounced that right.
Yes.
So Me Money, and it was produced in 2018, right?
Yes.
About 2018, and it follows the story of a married couple and the secrecy that lies within that whole dynamic. So what inspired you to make that movie? And produce and just bring it up to like, what message were you trying to say with that movie?
Okay, the message was that it's quite plain. All the glitters is really not gold.
Yeah.
That's I think that's like pretty much what you get from watching that movie at first. And that the people who tend to appear like oh, you've done me so much wrong are most times the worst. Because do you understand what I'm saying? Like the folks, I'm running the brothel without the guy's knowledge. So it just goes to say that, like we say, in the words of the sage, Two-Face, nobody only pass.
Ugh.
So,
I mean, he's a deep, philosophical thinker. I mean, I'm just joking. It's like you're quoting Socrates or Galileo or something. Sorry, carry on. I get you.
You thought I was going to quote someone serious. Okay.
Wait till happen now. But anyways, continue.
But seriously, that was the message of the movie. That was what I was going in for. And I noticed that a lot of people try to worship pastors more than they should. You worship human beings and then you leave God. There's this example I can give you. Somebody, a friend of mine, this was what actually inspired that story. I'm sorry, baby, if you're here. Okay, a friend of mine who got pregnant while she was still unmarried and she was in church. So she opted to have an abortion because she was scared of what people in the choir would say about her and of what her pastor would think of her. So she had an abortion. And then the next Sunday, she went to church and she was praying. And something in her mind just told her that, look, God was there when you had that abortion. So because you wanted to please these human beings whose lives you do not know, you went against God that gave you life, who was right there while you were having that abortion. I mean, who exactly are you deceiving? So the next time she got pregnant, she kept it. The baby's about 3 years old now. But that's beside the point. But the truth is that the extent we go to hide things from people whose life we really don't know at times will shock you. These people do not even care about you. They have their own baggage that they're slugging around. But you want to look, cold to them. You want to do right by them. That's the word. You want to do right by them. And then the God who put you in that place just keeps looking at you like, come, are you sure you the wine me? And it's just it's just crazy. But that's the reality of the world that we live in right now. Most people worship their pastors much more than they worship God.
Again, I'm obsessed with this your answer. Like, you know what scares me is that we don't even have enough time to cover many of these stories, because you're right. People are so focused on what Mr. A and Mr. B would say. And at the end of the day, like when you're at home in your bed alone, these people are not there. When you're crying, when you're going through whatever, and then you spend your whole life really trying to make people feel pleased with themselves or please everybody. You're confined by societal expectations, confined by everybody's idea of what your life should be as opposed to what
What
you
should
should
be?
do.
Recently, I put up a post on my Instagram, and the question was, "What's your definition of maturity? What does it mean
Mm-hmm.
to be mature?" And I still haven't found the answer I was looking for. All the answers I got was how you act in public, how you react when people do things to you, how
Mm-hmm.
you do this, how you just. I'm like, all these answers are in you're deferring to people's opinion about you. You know, what does it really mean to you? Like, are you going to let somebody define whether you're mature or not? Or you're just going to have your own kind of maturity and just move on with your life? I'm one of the very few people who want to do right by me. I honestly don't care what you think. Honestly. And this is because I have realized that if I keep caring what you think, I'm not going to leave. And I don't know if I'm going to get a do-over. I don't know if I'm going to get a second shot at this. So then I'm just going to do me.
Just live your life to you, like, and to your beat,
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, when you're, and for those that believe in judgment, and I don't want to assume that everybody believes that there's a day of judgment,
True.
but
Hmm.
for those of you that do believe in that, on that day you're on your own. Nobody's going to be there with you, sure. So it's like understanding that you cannot live your life to the beat of others. It's easy to say, oh, it's not that easy to do, because
It's not
everybody
easy
wants to
to
look
live
good.
by. It is not easy to live by at all.
Yeah,
At all.
this is
It's easy to say.
absolutely. Absolutely. But anyways, I just quickly just going through some of the comments as well. Akwemikbo is saying you're always looking natural and trust your baby. Trust your baby. You are damn pretty. Oh, thank
Thank
you,
you.
Akwemikbo. As you are just a star. So I'm assuming she's talking about the movie. Was the
The
story?
movie, yeah.
This, yeah. Thank you very much. Olasco is saying that oh, it's everybody loves your voice.
Thank
So
you.
just um someone said thanks for your support on Lebanon ladies. I don't know
Oh
what that
yeah.
is about.
It's fine. Yeah. It's
Oh,
a
oh,
different thing that I do.
oh, tell me. You can tell us about it if it's something you want to
Um,
share.
I have an NGO that rescues Africans in slavery from around the world, most
Interesting.
especially, women who are
Mm-hmm.
trapped in countries like Lebanon, Oman, Saudi, Dubai, all those Middle Eastern countries that are
Mm-hmm.
notorious for selling human beings,
Yeah.
and buying them and using them for modern day slave trade. So
Mm-hmm.
I have an NGO. I work with a friend of mine and a couple of other associates to rescue people from the jaws of modern day slavery. It's a long story, but that's
Wow.
it. Just simply put, yes.
You know what I like about you? The way you just said is a long story. Let's not talk. That is amazing what you do. You're really literally affecting the lives of these women, because they otherwise didn't have any choice. They're forced to do forced labor, and other things happen to them as well. There's been, I mean, lately we're starting to talk about these things. That's another thing I want to
Yeah,
talk to you about. Lately, we're just
yeah,
starting to talk about. Oh, do you know that there are women that are taken from their homes or literally sold by their parents to go into these type of slaveries,
there are.
and then they are sold from owner to owner. Like this
Yes, there
happens
are.
where an owner would say, I'm
There's
like,
a website. There's a website where you can go to shop for ladies like that.
and it's not on the
There's an
dark web,
actual
it's on
website.
actual, like the actual
It's
internet
not
that
on
we all
dark
have
web, but I
access
can
to.
give homemakers.net. It's there.
Interesting.
It's there.
Interesting. Wow. The world we live in is is a
Let's
wonderful
just
world.
let's
Let's not say anything. I don't want to be bad,
exactly.
right?
Yeah,
So it's all
yeah.
good.
Let's move on.
Anyway, Mr. Okonkwo says there was a particular movie you did recently with Femi Adebayo. I think she doesn't remember the title, and she said that he acted as your husband. And okay, I don't know if to ask this question, but she says, "Were you truly pregnant there?"
I
If you
was.
want to answer. Oh, okay.
I
So
was.
that went off smoothly.
Mhm.
Um, Wax ENT says, Motilola.
Wale, leave me alone.
Kama say your bad
My
luck.
friend.
No, let's speak English. Let's do the English. Okay, we started in English. Maybe next
I
time
know.
we might do one in Yoruba. It might be fun actually.
If you can survive it, but let's go.
Hey, Emma, don't underrate me. Emma underrates me, Rara. What do you mean?
I think well,
Anyway, so
you know
I
how
like
long it took you to think about that, Emma. You know, you have to process it.
Yoruba. So it's just I'm looking at your beauty. Is that your picture that is behind you that is making me
Yeah,
confused?
yeah, that's my picture.
So anyway,
91.
yes.
Let's keep
Okay.
going.
Jumoke Florence says, I love how Motilola speaks her English fluently. We all do, apparently. I'm trying to look for a question. So Moyesera says, which kind of roles have you performed throughout your career? Are you satisfied with them? So, generally, that's up to you.
My career is kind of just starting. I'm going to say that it's kind of just starting. So, because I kind of just found my feet, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to stand up now. So I just found my feet. And I think now I'm going to be doing a lot of things that I've always wanted to do. So I've not gotten a satisfactory role yet, but I'm on my way there.
Okay. But I like to hope that, when you make your own movies, because again, the stories you tell in your movies are really amazing. And I'm guessing that maybe someday, you actually like let yourself play a role in your movie that you really like. Maybe then
Yeah,
you might
definitely.
you might be
Definitely.
free
Definitely.
in that. So thank you, Moya Soria Junior. Lots of kisses and love. And she says she loves your voice. It's killing. It's really
Thank you.
killing. Thank you very much. And so I'm trying to look for. I'm going to ask you just my next question. So this is about another movie you did.
Okay.
So this is about Mask. Mask.
Okay,
Mask.
ma.
Yeah. So produced in 2019, and it follows two families. And they're going through their own peculiar problems. One seemingly looks, I mean, they both seemingly look not too bad, but they both have that, like their big problems. One has the whole issue with BDSM, which again we don't
Yes.
talk about a lot in Nigeria.
Which we don't talk about at all.
We just don't talk about because and another one is about incest and how
Which we also do not talk
don't
about.
talk about. So and also I think incest and by extension would be different types of abuse that we are not willing to discuss because of the shame factor as well. So what advice do you have for people that are actually going through, that have this issue that they can actually voice or talk about? You know what I mean?
Yes. The first thing is, the reason people don't talk about it is for you to think that what would people say about me, you know? Now, I was just thinking today on my own, the universe does have a way of piecing things together. I was just thinking today on my own about the case of this lady who stabbed her husband to death in Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave her a death sentence, and now she's trying to get the sentence mitigated and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that the guy had walked out of that marriage. He probably would still be alive now. Or even if he must die, she would not have stabbed him to death. She'll probably not get a death sentence now. So look, when you're going through things that you don't talk about, there's a probability that you will explode. And when you explode, you will not be able to control the outcome of that explosion. That explosion will shame you more than the scenario that you're in. So if it's about shame and you're not talking about it, at the end of the day, it's going to get worse. You either end up in jail or dead. So every time you look at that scenario, you're like, what would my neighbors say? How about what would they say when you're in jail? How about what will my neighbors say when they are leading me to the gallows to hang me? Have you thought about it that deep? Have you ever thought that your life is not about your neighbors and that you're living for you? See, the minute we break that, what will people say about my family kind of thing in Africa, I think we're going to be able to live better. We're going to be able to, speak up and say our own stories. It is really hard in this part of the world for anyone to walk out of any kind of marriage. Abusive, non-abusive, sane, insane, crazy, not crazy, because that's when people who have never experienced what you're going through will start giving you instances that their great grandmothers gave them. Oh, my great grandmother, my grandfather has 17 wives, and what is wrong with you? Why can't you just stick with one more woman? You know? And then in your heart, you know that you're not the kind of person that can condone that. One night you're either going to commit suicide or kill the man. But because somebody said my great grandfather had 17 wives, you're like, okay, if your great grandfather did it, if your great grandmother did it, I can do it. I am not your great grandmother. And that is the truth. So I feel like the moment we stop shaming ourselves, do you understand? Like the minute they're still going to talk anyway. I think that's what people have not realized, that whether you hide it or not, they're still going to talk. I'm not going to, I do not have a perfect life. I know that, right? You do not have a perfect life, but you're not going to stand on the express and start saying, hey, hi, how are you? My life is not perfect. No, nobody does that. Do you understand what I'm saying? But I don't know how to explain. Choose sanity.
Guys, by the way, choose sanity. Just choose
Choose
it.
sanity. Even if you're going through something insane, just choose sanity. Like, no, 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 no. I believe that, look, if someone was locking you in a room every day and pouring hot coals on your body, like every single day, you will not go. If you had a chance to leave, you will not go back there. So if you can do that physically, why not do that mentally? Why not do that for your mental health? Why not choose sanity? Every single time you're confronted with a choice, choose sanity. Choose to be sane. You know, talk
Mental
about
health.
it. Tell. In fact, see, tell your mother. I believe that. I once went to a secondary school for an outreach to talk to the girls about sexual purity and all of that. And after my speech, um, about 30 girls wanted to talk to me. 30. So I felt I was going to be advising them on boyfriend issues and, who is your boyfriend? And why do you have a boyfriend?
No, this was their times have changed though.
Guess what the bulk of it was about? It
Oh.
was about girls whose fathers were abusing, girls whose uncles were sleeping with, girls, some of them, their mothers knew about the abuse and told them to just bear it until. I left that place broken. That day I was deeply broken. I got home and I picked up my phone. I had to tell my husband about it because I was losing my mind. I was really losing my mind. And I'm like, when I wrote this movie, I thought I was talking to the 5%. From the looks of it that day, I was talking to the 70%. Like, it's more out there than what was even in my head while I was writing that movie. And if you're a mom and you know that your husband is abusing your daughter, or a stepdad is sleeping with her, and you're there, you're just mom, you're killing that girl. You're being selfish. You're just being selfish. That's what you're doing. You're being selfish because you don't want to lose your marriage. You want her to lose her own sanity. And she didn't beg you to come to this world.
To be
You
born.
brought her in, and now you're making her suffer because you don't want to lose something you think is important to you. And that is just being selfish.
Yep. I think just to add to that, you're absolutely correct. Is there's selfishness involved? Also, I think what we can do even as a society, and this is me in an objective kind of like place speaking, is that we ourselves need to create a healthy environment for people to speak up. Like that
Nobody
young
really
girl.
creates that environment for you. That's the truth.
But I mean,
It is
if
so
teachers, for
bad that we
example,
cannot wait. It is so bad
It's true.
that we cannot wait for the environment to be healthy
To
before we
come
speak.
true.
Speak anyway.
Speak anyway.
Somebody
It's true.
somewhere, somebody sane will listen. At the end of the day, you have to expect that out of every 100 people, that at least two will be sane to say come.
Those are amazing figures. Sorry,
But that's the truth.
but it's kind of true, Sha.
If you read comments on Instablog, that should tell you how people think. Recently, a queen from a certain kingdom in Nigeria, she had a falling out with the king, and now he's trying to divorce her, and they have a lot of messy stuff going on and all of that. And people were telling her she was talking too much. I saw that video and I saw that she was in pain. You know, she was in pain. She just needed an outlet. She just needed to lash out. And unfortunately, there was a journalist dangling a mic in front of her. So what do? You lash out. And people kept saying she was talking too much. And this was somebody that said she caught her husband defiling a 13-year-old. She did blah blah blah. The environment is never ever gonna be healthy. You just have to speak out anyway. If you're waiting for external factors before you can speak the truth, I know that we have to create a supportive environment and blah blah blah. But the environment
Hi.
but the truth is, don't mind, yeah, that one, it has gone. The truth is that none of us would deliberately create a healthy environment for anybody to speak up. We're judgmental in nature. And I think that is just who we are. We just want to roll our eyes and do the, at everything that does not, that seems odd or queer to us. We just turn away. Oh, no. Oh. And then you say, God forbid. And then you jump up and turn your hands over your head and then throw it out and say, God forbid. But the truth is, it happens and it's happening. And nobody, you can't wait for and then now there are agencies who actually deal with this stuff, that you can walk up to and go to. From my experience dealing with people, I realized that not everybody accepts the help that they need.
True.
You need help, you come to me, I'm offering you the help, but you want the kind of help that you think, I don't know how to explain this. The kind of help you want is for me to enable you to keep staying in that environment and now want to listen every single time you have a problem.
Yeah.
The kind of help I want to offer is to take you out of that scenario so that you will be fine. But the kind of help you want is to be able to come back to me and say, it beats me today again. I think it's going to beat me tomorrow. I think it's going to beat me next tomorrow. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's the picture. That's what it is.
Very correct. It's like getting a bandage for internal bleeding, you see,
Exactly.
it's okay, me too. Somebody should come and touch my cheek. So
That's what it is. I think that's what it is.
But anyways, more seriously though, like absolutely agree with you. It's so complicated, and I appreciate that you're even doing outreaches. You're being in a place where you can talk to these young girls, and they can feel safe enough to be like, oh, this person can actually understand and open up about their situations to you. There's that. But I think all of us are watching as well. We all need to do more, like be there for others, create, and I know I said create a safe environment, but like let ourselves be like an example and just not be so judgmental and speak the truth. Speak the truth. Even if it will hurt the person you're talking to. Somebody's in an abusive relationship, like you're like, but I don't want this girl to fight with me, or think, auntie, leave the relationship now before you kill him in his sleep. Do you know what I mean? Before he kills you in his sleep.
Before you force him to commit murder.
So there's just so much that we don't talk about enough, and we don't let ourselves, go through. But anyways, I'm just going to try to just move to another question, because stories that touch. And also I appreciate that you're talking about these stories in your movies, and this is something I think I said earlier or something, but yes, this is honestly, thank you for that. So quickly, some of the comments. Umba Young Boy 101 says you're such a good actress.
Thank you.
Oh, then thank you. I mean, it's Auntie Motilola now. Come on. So Evil God says, I heard your voice about the lady in Lebanon. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
I'm going to
Priscilla
put some
for
stories of girls from Ivory Coast today. Girls,
oh wow.
three girls who were forced into prostitution. They've had to sleep with an average of 5 men per day. They've been there for the past 2 months and down. We've not been able to move them. But I've just been informed that there are like 40 of them who are doing that business in that area of Ivory Coast, and they all want to come to Nigeria. I still don't know how we're going to go about it, but we're going to rescue as much as we can.
Oh. And just a quick, what platform do you have a specific platform for this? Or somewhere we
We
can
have
go read about
Rescue
it?
Africans in Safety Organization, also known as Project Ferry. You can reach us
Project?
via Twitter. Project Ferry, Ferry.
Okay.
Yes, you
So in
can
case
reach us.
anyone wants to kind of help out or join or
Yes,
just
on
be a
Twitter.
volunteer or
We're
something.
on Twitter at Project Ferry. You can send me a direct message too. We
Mm,
need all the help that we can get. We need rehabilitation. We need counselors to talk to these girls. We
mm-hmm.
need people to recondition their mind. I think that's the most important thing. We also need a place to settle them back in, because most of these girls were sold into this business by their families, and they don't
Mm-hmm.
want to go back to those family members. So we need all the help that we can get. We're doing this by ourselves. We don't have any form of funding and all of that, but we pull our resources together. And sometimes I've had to come cap in hand to Instagram to beg that please give me money. I want to help people, but that's fine. I won't get tired of doing that until I get the correct source of funding.
Voila. And after this lockdown, everything we're rushing
Amen.
forward.
We can't
Amen.
wait
Amen.
though.
So I'm just gonna rush through. So many comments coming in. Thank you guys so much for being a big part of this. We're enjoying your comments. They're really helping us out. Mayosara Adni says, what is the hardest part of being a celebrity? So yeah.
The tag celebrity, you only wear it if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tag that I don't like it when it gets placed on me. Fame. I see fame as a byproduct of what I do. Fame is not the reason that I'm doing what I do. You know, fame just comes with the terrain. It's really not my purpose. It's really not my goal in this profession. Um, I am not a celebrity. I'm an actor, just doing my job, just telling my stories. And I hope that one day, if my story just impacts like just a number of people to change their lifestyles to do better, I'm fulfilled. I'm good. I'm good. A celebrity has to have money, have big houses, and then rolling Range Rovers and all of that. I don't have any of those stuff. So yes, I'm not a celebrity. I'm just an actor, just doing my thing.
But I think also in terms of impact and what you're doing, and I'm even learning about you the more we talk, which is interesting. And you're a celebrity, whether you like it or not. So you deserve the status on like
Amen.
a
I'm
hundred
waiting for
levels.
the money.
So
I'm waiting for the money.
yeah.
I'm waiting for the
Your name is not Motilola.
questions. Oh,
Okay. So I'm going to ask, I think maybe three more quickly. So someone said, "What's the next project for you?" So I'm going to ask you this question in two phases. What is the next project for Project Ferry, and
okay.
also project in terms of movies? So what projects are you
Okay.
planning on working
The
on?
project where we're doing the Ivory Coast thing that I just
Mm-hmm.
mentioned right now. We're planning the Ivory Coast thing for movies. There's still so much to come. There's so much to come. I'm doing some writing right now, and we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I might end up doing something on modern day slavery. I think it's time to talk about it.
Mm. I think it's important to talk about it, especially now that you kind of have a lot of stories to tell in that regard. I'm
Yes,
sure.
I agree. Yeah.
Wow, it's important for us to talk about it. Another person is also, this is more on Project Ferry as well. Are you documenting your rescue missions and the things you've been
Yes, we
doing?
are.
And Able God, I'm sure you can talk to Able God. Maybe after this, I could send you his link. And he says, if yes, we can talk about the possibility of getting an international organization like involved as well. So
That would be
maybe
nice.
that might
That
be
would be
nice
nice.
to see
Yes,
that
that would be
happen.
nice.
A lot of people are saying hi and saying beautiful things. Somebody is saying still love or so. I'm guessing that is regarding the cheek touching. See, I'm not the one that saw it. Just letting you know. Right, there are plenty. I'm watching you. Someone says you're a good-hearted woman.
Okay, let me do
Keep doing
something.
well. Honestly. Oh, hi.
Yeah,
No one
how does it
disturb.
go?
No wahala. So everyone is a lot of people also agreeing with what we're talking about. And someone said the major thing is to pass your message. We love you, our Motilola. Oh,
Thank
cute.
you. I love you
Uh,
too. I'm
thank you
shy.
so much. So you know what? I think we've spent so much time. I'm so sorry. I know we agreed on a lesser time, but I'm loving the
No.
conversation
It's
and
fine.
the
It's
message
fine.
is
I'm
beautiful.
enjoying this. I'm enjoying this.
Yes. So maybe two, three more questions, honestly. The first one is considering how difficult it is to source for funds in the movie industry. How have you been able to cope with production of your movies and also, recuperating
The
your
form.
revenues from that? Getting revenues back from that.
It's
Smile
difficult, but
City.
it's difficult, but it's not impossible. That's just it. I that's standard. So the money is not coming back. But feedbacks like this are what we live for. So it's fine.
Yeah, you do amazing work, and I can't wait. And this will bring me to my next question as well, because I know you do mostly indigenous movies. So I'm talking Yoruba language movies and not English movies. So most of the movies that we see in the theater, in the cinema, not theater because that's live. Anyway, so in the
I
cinema
understand what you said.
would be, English, mostly English speaking movies. You know what I mean? So how how is it, that how are you coping with getting exposure for indigenous movies, not just within Nigeria but on a global level, and getting more indigenous movies into Yoruba speaking movies or language movies into the cinema and getting distribution as well?
That's the next phase. That's actually the next phase for me. That's what I intend to work on. I think it's time. Some of our movies are getting there. Some of our movies are great. Some of our productions are fantastic, and I feel like it's time, for us to also push for cinema exposure and distribution as well.
Yeah. So
But
hopefully,
that's the next line of action.
don't worry, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go to the cinema to watch, something from Motilola and be like, guys, I spoke to her once. I know her. We are besties. Okay.
Yes, we are.
So there's the so just shout out to everybody as well. They're hailing you. You're a celebrity, mama. This is from Princess Okwemiko. Princess Okwemiko, you're a real G. Thank you so much. So relationship with Abilites, people need to know about this
Okay,
lady.
just before someone embarrasses me on live, my husband, he wants to come online and I wants to ask that how about the money I'm owing him? Yes, I'm owing him money. Let me say I'm owing him money because I used this money to make a movie and I'm not paid, but I will pay. Thank you. Can we move on? Can we just quickly move on
I
from
know,
that?
I'll run away from that. Please.
Can we ignore the question when it comes up? Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm running away now, sis. Don't worry. So, okay, so I'll just consider this maybe a final, kind of like a semi-final question from me. Then maybe one more question from the comments. So, for me personally, is I know that being a woman, a filmmaker, not just an actress, a filmmaker in the industry, there's a new wave now. We're having more and more female filmmakers
No, yeah.
kind of making big projects. And how is it and how do you feel being part of this movement, this movement of women taking over, telling their stories, and just being in control?
I'm just so happy that we're at this point right now. Like, and I know that it's not going to stop. We're going to see an influx of more and more and more women, just doing really great things in the industry, just directing movies and doing all sorts. I think I am so happy. I'm so excited. Like I'm on top of the world. We are now at that point where if a male director doesn't give you a job, just walk on to the female director, and that just works fine for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it literally just cuts sexual harassment in half. It just
There's also that we don't get to talk about that today. Sorry, but
you don't. Yeah, we'll get there
hopefully
some other time.
that's true. But I'm happy that there's more women, like you say. It just creates more opportunities. And I can have, for example, my sister and all other young people are talking about, oh, not just I want to be an actress.
That's great. We have a lot of women handling the camera now, and they do. I think I'm going to have an all-female crew real soon.
No,
it's amazing.
This is my audition.
Girl power.
This is my audition, bro. Just let me know though if I'm around and you're doing the project. Just call me up. I'm ready to bring the energy and look for trouble because why not?
Yeah.
it's a gift. So okay, so this Bukumi says, "I love you." Oh, she loves you. Thank you, Bukumi.
I love you, Bukumi, and I know you love me. Thank you. She's my friend.
So, so we see someone that see my Yoruba was trained there. Anyways,
at least now.
So one more question. Moyosir Aduni says, what is your experience in the field of professional acting? So I know we talked about it earlier, but I think she probably just wants to know more.
I don't know. What kind of experience is she talking about? Like generally?
I think generally I would assume so, yeah.
It's a tough terrain, but the strong will survive. I think that's just about it.
It is so philosophical. And I love it. It's very simple. It's like, you know what, it is tough, I can imagine, of course. But again, now I'm gonna have to sign off. I know we promised about 30-40 minutes, 15 minutes. I am having a ball. I don't want it to stop, but of course, all good things have to kind of wrap up and come to an end. Thank you so much for being such a delight. Do you have any questions for me, or do you want to say anything else before?
What do you do apart from this?
So apart from being awesome, what do I do? Actually, I'm a singer. Yeah, so I do singing and I do work in tourism as well. So both. And that's my.
Where are you?
I'm in Paris.
Aww.
City of love. It's not easy.
I tell you,
love find me, Sha. Because it's not by city of love.
Maybe you need to get out of the house more.
I need to get out of the house more.
Yeah.
Hey, even before this lockdown, when I was getting out of the house, when they say when a man finding a good thing, nobody is finding me anywhere. What is it?
Make yourself available to be found.
That one's safe day, sure. That one's safe day. But don't worry, we'll do better. We'll do okay. Hopefully someone come and touch our cheek. In our video one day. Oh, yeah, that's that. Okay, so sorry, I know I was signing off. I always ask this question as my sign off question. What does the African heritage mean to you? So what does the African identity mean to you in 3 words? So 3 words, the African identity.
Everything.
1 is everything. Okay.
It's who I am. Like, I know this is so deep. Like, I have so much to say, but 3 words. Why do I have to say 3 words?
I don't know. It's just easy because if I asked everybody this question, I would expect you to go like deep into so many things. But I actually like your answer. The first one you said everything, because honestly,
I'm nothing if I'm not African. Like before anything, I'm first human, then I'm African, then I'm female. So I feel like I can go anywhere in the world and be anything, but I can't stop being African. That's just what it is. So I don't know. It's
guys.
Nice.
I'm stealing your response, by the way. So if anyone asks me what does it mean to be African, I'll be like everything, right? Because I just thought about it, and that's what is completely my thoughts. I didn't steal it from Motilola. That's not what happened. That is the truth. But anyways, thank you so much again. You're such a delight. My regards to your husband. We are sorry about the. I'm going to keep
the money is not getting anytime soon. After embarrassing me on live video, it's so not getting that money.
That's covered. That's balance. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you more on YouTube and on the silver screen. I'm hoping to see you on the silver screen soon. and
All
hearing more
right.
about the beautiful work you do with Project Fairy as well. Thank you
Very
so
great.
much. Guys, say a beautiful goodbye to our wonderful guest. Thank you and have a lovely, lovely evening. You're
You
such a delight.
too. Bye.
Bye. So hi guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this today's session. To be honest, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope everything is going well. I'm seeing some requests about joining the live. I'm so sorry, I will not be able to do that today, because we've like overdone it. And the reason why we did was because, man, it was worth it. This conversation was too late for it to stop. I almost broke glass. Jesus, help me. Anyways, thank you guys so much for your questions. Thank you for being part of it. We're having another one tomorrow. Kiton is going to be here tomorrow. Not me, but Kiton is going to be talking to someone very amazing. We're going to keep the secret till then. But until then, guys, have a great one. Have a good night. Kisses. And by the way, maybe one of these days we might do a live with one of you. So if you do want to do a live with us, like, and talk about what you do, you can send what's that thing called, a private message to the label page. Just send us a private message, tell us what you do, tell us what you want to talk about, and we can go from there. You get, and we'll be able to kind of talk about something interesting and have a great time as always. Thank you guys so much and have a